Hello friend! Welcome back to another video with your man Gentleman, and today we're gonna talk about Mat Kilau. So what movies can you watch at the moment in the cinemas when Thor gets delayed? You get to watch a box office hit, Mat Kilau, or a Minions movie. So over the weekend we went and watched Mat Kilau. Finally, everyone is talking about it. So Mat Kilau is one of the many warriors in Malaysian history that went and helped to fight against the British colony during the late 1800s to the early 1900s. You know, seeing that this movie is getting a lot of buzz, and I went and watched the trailer. It's a period piece, so it will be interesting to know what actually happened, what actually went down during that time, just to jog down memory lane on Malaysian history. And it's also good to support local films. Anyway, just a disclaimer that I'm not a historian, so I don't know much about Mat Kilau or what actually happened, the exact details of what happened during that time in the state of Pahang with the British colony. So I'm not gonna go in detail in this review about the actual depiction of history during that time. So what is this movie about? Well, basically the British colony came into Pahang in the late 1800s, and the Malay communities was not happy because of how the British was treating them. So Mat Kilau and his band of brothers tried to unite the Malay communities at the time to fight against the British. So that's the main storyline that this movie focuses on. For me, I really took the time and effort and energy to really focus and pay attention to this movie to try to give a benefit of the doubt. So let's focus on the positives first. A big shout out to the stunt team, especially for doing the silat choreography and the action scenes. They were great. The wardrobe for staying true to the times, and some of the actors who actually I think tried their best given the script that they had. Whereas for the positives, I think that's where it stops. As for the negatives, I don't even know where to begin. I gotta tread carefully with this review because it can get quite sensitive, seeing that it was a Malay focused movie and I'm a Malaysian Chinese just giving 2 cents about it. This is just a review and it's how I felt when I watched it. You know, everybody can have a different opinion or a different experience while watching this. It's what films are. You may like it, you may not, and that's totally fine. Firstly, I wouldn't even consider it as a movie because I find that this movie is more of a propaganda in nature. The reason I say this is mainly because of the script. Throughout this movie, right, it beats into your head in every scene about how this is the land of the Malays, the British are the colonizers, and we need to trust in God. I get it if you want to include religion into the story and the focus on Malay rights as part of the core message, by all means, but it should be done with finesse and subtlety to really bring it out so that you feel for them and you feel for their cause. But instead, what we get is a constant reminder, like an alarm through their dialogue in every scene, all the messages and the self-help lines thrown in as well. It just tells and not show, and that makes it very expositional throughout the whole film, which makes the whole viewing experience really tiring and boring as well. Take for example this movie by Martin Scorsese called Silence. Same concept but done masterfully. The characters in this film are so one-dimensional, there's no arc or complexity in them, like you don't see them going through any personal journey. Until the end, I still don't know who is this Mat Kilau and what I can shout out about him and his band of brothers. This movie just ends too, like it's definitely a setup for a sequel, so it's not really a complete story as well. The script, right, really needs more work. You know, include more people from different perspectives to work on it so that you can tell a more coherent story. It just needs more rewrites. Another thing is the direction and the cinematography. This movie is directed by Shamsul Yusof. He is known for Evolusi Drift KL, KL Gangster, and Munafik, all of which I haven't seen, so I can't comment much about his direction in those films. But in this film, not sure if it's intentional or not, but it makes it look like it's a play where characters are not moving in or out, everybody is staged like they are just acting within this scene. There's nobody doing something without the need to explain it, which makes it look really not natural at all. One thing that really bugs me is how there's no quiet time for the characters whatsoever. It's either action or dialogue. There's no one scene where the characters takes a break to think about what happened or to show like they live in this world. In every dialogue scene, right, all the characters either repeats the same point over and over again, or each person have to talk or to say something to explain things. In my opinion, there's too many action scenes in this movie, and the action scenes, it drags on quite a bit. There are so many shaky cams, I really don't like it. It's quite distracting. And for the slow-mos, if you do it right, you can look good, but sometimes for this film, right, it just uses in places where there's no real purpose for it. They just shot everything everything in high speed, then later on in post they'll decide which to use, which actually makes the overall film in terms of the frame rate quite off too at some parts. For the Sila, it should be elegantly done, you know, in terms of the camera work, it should be clear and shot gracefully. But rather what we get is a really typical action film with lots of shaky cam, and some of the camera quality doesn't match as well. Take Ip Man for example, it's similar concept but it's shot with so much care and craftsmanship. The soundtrack doesn't match too. It's a period piece. Shouldn't you include like a traditional Malay music? Wouldn't that make more sense? Instead, what we got is a Hans Zimmer knockoff type of soundtrack that lacks character. The editing is really inconsistent as well. Like, it's very jumpy, it doesn't connect with other scenes very well, it's all over the place, and there's no continuity. You are at this scene, then suddenly you cut to another scene, which makes it very choppy. I may be wrong in this, but in the movie, I don't think that's how Pahang people talk during that time. I find the accent quite funny in the sense that everyone feels like they are making a formal speech. I feel like they should do more research into how they speak at that time and really nail the accent, because for me, I find the accent is just really out of place. Overall, I really didn't enjoy this movie at all. You know, 1 hour in, I just couldn't take it. I just wanted to leave. You know, some parts was just so cringy. The whole film was just so intense with its dialogue. It's loud and just exhausting to watch. I would rather watch RRR, which is now on Netflix, about, you know, Indians fighting against the British colony. Same concept, but it's executed way better. I wouldn't recommend this film. It's really bad. It's really not worth the time and money to go and see this. There's no history lessons here other than just a very one-sided movie giving you exposition in every scene. I really don't mean to trash this movie. I mean, I went in with good intentions, but I came out really left disappointed because it's not the movie that I wanted to see. But I have to, because mind you, this is the highest grossing movie in Malaysia at the moment, and it's something to be concerned with. I hope everybody that works on this film takes this as constructive criticism and see how we can improve further on future Malaysian films. I know budget has been a real issue, there's censorship, and there's also talent shortages as well. There's definitely better Malaysian films out there, like recently I saw Guang and Fly By Night. They are good quality Malaysian films. So I hope others can do the same as well, because we as Malaysian, we deserve more quality Malaysian films. Like, I as a Malaysian also want to feel proud of our own films as well. So have you guys watched Mat Kilau? What do you guys think of this movie? Did I miss something, or is there something to add? Do let me know in the comment section below. Do leave a like and subscribe to this channel for more videos. Till then, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.